Hey guys, this is Andarin27 and we are back in Timberborn for our second to last video on this series. So we're going to just keep on plugging away. I think we're in a pretty good solid place on the water, so I want to actually start getting into some of our more advanced materials. I think we're going to get a tapper's shack and start getting some pine and all those other things so that we can get into the more advanced industries. So with that said, let's just get to it. Alright, and there we are. Isn't it a thing of beauty? So, I do believe we're just working on getting things filled back in. So, okay. Tapper's Shack. Let's get over here to wood. It would be nice to have books, but I don't think we're going to do that yet. Yeah, it's not too bad getting this. So we'll get our Tapper Shack. That's just a size 2, so we could actually throw that down right here and go ahead and put in some more trees over here. Go ahead and pause this building for a moment, and I'll lay out our trees. Alright, and then that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna get our pines right here, and they are not to be cut. And we're gonna have some maple here so we can start getting some pastries. Get some of that maple syrup. And that should be all. I don't believe there are any... No, birch are a worthless tree, so we're not gonna do anything with that. I'm also gonna go ahead and add in a couple more water dumps. Just right here, and that way we can get this this reservoir filled as quickly as possible. Now for where we're gonna put down our pump to get water out of here, that's a little bit more of a tricky question, but I think we're just gonna use some platforms to put one right up here. Alright. So then, there's our next drought. We're in good shape though because we have plenty of water pumps running. We'll get this built up and get our dynamite going. I would like them to focus up here for the next little bit on dynamite. I get a bad feeling this is probably going to be a big one. But if it is, it is. So we'll just keep on plugging. Just check our districts, make sure they're still doing okay. Oh, plenty fine in the city center. Reasonably well in the reservoir. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get a couple of grist mills running up here. That should be plenty to keep up with, and in line with that, probably get ourselves another... Oh, let me think here. Probably want to get ourselves another storage, if we can fit one. Well, we're not fitting anything right here. But we could stick one in here, so we'll do that. Let's see here. In terms of drought, we'll need to explode this today so that we get all the water in that we can. So let's give them to the end of the working day and then we'll go ahead and do that. Alright, so it is time. Let's go ahead and detonate this, make sure we got all the water we can get. That's not going to do us any good, but we'll detonate it anyways. Yeah, we'll just detonate it anyways. Alright, 3, 2, 1. There we go. And look at how our beavers have done on this metal. They are just about out of scrap over here, which unfortunately means our metalworking district's about to become obsolete. Or at least it'll have to move, and I do not think that they, do not think that this city up here will be in reach. But we could certainly try. Okay, 23-day drought, that's not that bad. Ah. I see where we went wrong. Oh well. We'll get it when we get around to this bottom layer. So, just a real quick update, because I've been at this for a little bit. Beavers are still plugging away at the dynamite, getting pretty good there. We have used up our topmost layer of storage. 18 days left in the drought. We're doing great. We'll make it without any issue. Did have to pause our beavers. We were getting way too many over here in the city center. 26 unemployed. There's not really a reason to keep working at that point. When we get down to about 10 unemployed, I'll turn it back on just so that we have a supply of new beavers when the old ones start dying off. We did put down, though they haven't gotten to it yet, a grist mill over here. I actually do not think the bakery will fit over here. Maybe I should get that down real quick. So, okay, we could fit one over here. The other one will have to find a home somewhere else. That would be perfect if it wasn't totally blocked. There we go, we could sneak it in here. Though maybe I want to leave that for a row house. I'll leave that for a row house. Yeah, we'll just toss it in here. Why not? Get ourselves a couple bakeries over here. And then just because we're already so stinking close, see no reason not to run the road all the way through. We'll just throw a district gate right there. And bam. They are now connected. So, I don't know if anyone will actually use that road, but it might be faster to go up this way than around this way. We'll just see what they do. At any rate, we've got all of our trees planted. Our tapper shack is ready to go, but our trees are obviously not. But that'll be changed soon enough. I did plant down pines and maples. I might have already showed you that, but regardless. And we are still working over here, although kind of paused at the moment so that they can focus on getting our bakeries and grist mills up. So I will let them do that, and I'll bring you back with another update soon. Huh. Well, that's interesting. So now I'm even more confused as to how this all works. The beavers have started lowering materials down to this power wheel, which I, in my wisdom, failed to see could not be connected. I'm attempting to fix that now, but interestingly enough, they are building the power wheel. They're not building the dynamite, though. I wonder if it might be out of range. No, it should be in range. It's right at the edge of the range, but it should be in range. It's set to highest priority. Maybe I just need to tear down another tree. Anyhow, that was something interesting. It's been kind of a slow episode, guys. I mean, I've done a fair bit off screen, but I basically showed you already. So they're getting these brought up. Our little reservoir is still under construction. That'll probably be for a little bit still. 7 days left in the drought. Water is just about out, but we still have 7,500. Had a little bit of food problems over here, but I think that those are finished now that we have our bakeries up and running. And I think our first sap harvest. Yep, our tappers should be coming in and picking up some pine resin. So we've got quite a bit happening. We do have unemployed, so I'm going to go ahead and put them to work as haulers. Make sure we keep our beavers busy. I'm not sure if that's why they're not going in there, but I'm going to give it a try. Yeah. This may end up being a really, really short episode, guys, because I've only got about 40 minutes so I can record. We'll see if I can't get to something more exciting today. I am doing one thing here, guys. I was just noticing we are really struggling with our logs in the city center district. So I am going to do kind of what we're doing up top. I'm going to create just a little water hole, fill it up, and call that good. That way we don't lose all the growth, because when these are dry, these trees don't grow at all, and eventually they'll die out. So by having just a tiny bit of water over here, we can make sure that these trees keep growing and hopefully address some of the log issues we're running into. I never thought that was going to be a problem based off of our early game, and I think if these were still growing, it wouldn't be. So we're gonna work on addressing that little problem. This may just end up being a very, very short video. That said, our reservoir is making good headway, and I'm actually gonna go ahead and prioritize just so that they get these items made. I did not mean to do that. You can leave later, but I want to get that up and running. And then, yeah, I've almost got all the dynamite down over here. We'll be able to bring them down, start working on the next lowest level. I will say this, the reservoir has been by far the biggest part of this whole series. It's been the lion's share of our work, and and I'm pretty proud of it. It definitely has grown, but it wasn't nearly as effective as I thought it would be. And that might be due to evaporation, or it might just be because we're using it. I mean, we can see how fast evaporation happens. It's not fast at all. But it does seem like we've never really addressed our water issues. We've never gotten to that point where water was just not a problem. I mean, right now it's not, in the sense that we're not going to die of thirst. I'd be a little more worried if this was a longer drought, but 23's decently long as is. I'm going to set these guys to prioritize getting this one built. So, I don't know. I mean, it has definitely been the hindrance of the series, the water. And at the very least, I do feel like we have addressed some of that issue. Even if there are still plenty of issues to resolve in that regards. I think the other thing, obviously the breeding pods made things very interesting. The population management was a lot more of a key. If this had been the folktales, we would have built a house, filled it up, seen if we were going to have any issues with that, and addressed it from there. You just didn't have that luxury with the Ironteeth. So that's an interesting thing, and one that I have enjoyed. I mean, yes, it's been challenging, but it's been fun in its own right. You have to worry about your housing because you're going, unless you pause these breeding pods, you're going to overflow it. On the flip side, if you're not careful, you'll pause your breeding for too long, and then you're going to have a labor shortage. It's a lot more interesting than the folktales in that regards. So I remember this water taking so long to flow. Let's go ahead and, okay, there we go. So literally, this one's just going to turn on whenever the trees just start drying out, and we don't want to flood anything, so we're just gonna have it. We'll just turn it on whenever it dries out. Turn it on for a second, clean it up, and then turn it right back off. But yeah, so all in all, not a. I can't say that I've had a bad time with this. It's definitely been a growing experience. But I would say I've had fun all in all in this series. Tomorrow will be the last video, and then we're gonna move on. I mentioned in one of my previous videos some of the series that I was considering doing. I think I've made a decision. I saw that there was some new content that just came out for Crusader Kings 3, and I enjoyed that game. I have not got a ton of hours in it, but the games that I've played have been reasonably successful, and I think that might be a fun series to do. I'm just debating how I'm going to do that series. I'm playing with a few ideas on how to go about presenting that, whether we do it as a straight playthrough, or I might actually turn it into something of an epic tale, where I play through the reign of a king or queen, and we, after they pass away, we go ahead and create a video just for them, and I will write a script and present it that way. I think that might be a lot of fun. It also might be a heck of a lot more work, and that might be biting off more than I can chew. So, we'll have to see. We'll definitely have to see. But I do think that would be an interesting thing to do. So, we'll find out. We'll find out what happens there. I'll think about it a little bit more, especially since I'm going to have to start recording that here in just a couple days. And yeah, and I'm sure, if you've enjoyed Timberborn, definitely go purchase it for yourself. It is a fun game. I have had a blast with this. It's had its issues, to be certain, but I think this game shows a lot of promise, and I think that if the developers keep working at it and pay attention to the feedback they're getting from the community, I'm sure that pretend you didn't see that. I'm sure that they'll keep on improving this game, and they'll come up with something that'll be a lot of fun. And I look forward to when that happens, because I have enjoyed this game, and I want to see it succeed. I want to have that opportunity to come back and do some more with it. We'll see. Maybe they add a new faction, and I'm not sure what they would do for another faction, but that might be fun. Maybe someone with some more creativity than I have can come up with that, and they can keep this game moving along and just create a wonderful experience for everybody. But in the meantime, let me see. I still have some time. My recording's still short. I am going to go ahead and keep working away at it until I either run out of time to record or run out of time to play. Alright guys, so I do have a little bit to show now. We are going to go ahead and start getting ourselves a wood workshop. Get ourselves some strengthened planks. Sorry, not treated, strengthened. We have some resin building up over here in the reservoir district, so we are going to add a route, and I suppose we need a drop-off point. Let's do that real quick. We can just throw that over here. So we're going to put some resin over in send resin over to the city center. And that way we can start getting some of those treated planks going. Unlock maybe a few of these last tier buildings. Got quite a bit of science stored up, although depressingly enough, not near enough for the that one laborer monument, the tribute to ingenuity at 12,000. That seems almost maybe a little too steep. Didn't really get some of these leisure buildings. Our beavers' well-being has dropped off. I suspect that is in no small part thanks to the reservoir district. Yeah, we're at a 13 over here. So what we probably need to do is just add some leisure buildings. Where is a really good question. So I don't know. You know, everything else is out over the reservoir. We could do that. Alternatively, you know, we do have access to all this over here. Let's go ahead and throw some of these things over here. It's not that far. We should be able to get some of our beavers over to a temple, and that should help them with some of their. Well, yeah. Let me try that again. That should help them with some of their needs. So we'll get these trees torn out and start on that. 20-day drought. That's not bad. We just came out of a 23. We'll be just fine. So we'll just keep on plugging away at our stuff. I think we are out of paper again, so we're gonna have to turn off our second explosives factory. It's not doing us any good. Maybe we throw in another paper mill, but I think if we're gonna do that, we're gonna need a lot more trees to chop. So we're gonna go ahead. One thing I do want to do before I do that, I'm going to lay down some explosives just as a, what's the word I'm looking for, to get ready for our expansion over to here. I don't know that that's going to happen in this series, but maybe it happens tomorrow. Might be interesting to get to. We're gonna try at any rate. We're just gonna keep on growing out. We're gonna replant, or we're gonna expand our grove up here. Add some additional harvesters, some lumberjacks, and keep moving. Just keep on moving. Storage is predictably a major issue for us. I don't see too much that we can do to improve that situation. Build more storage, but at a certain point you could probably line the whole entire game with the whole entire map with storage buildings, and you'd still end up filling them up. It does seem like food is still just fine. Yeah, we're hanging at 5,000 over there. We have 1,500 over here. I wish there was a little more variety. But bread has come to dominate everyone's diet. It's not unexpected. I'll have to keep that in mind for the next game. Going for bread is a smart idea. It is a bit of an investment, but since we had bread, we've never been hungry. So, you know, the great famine back in the beginning, you know, whatever episode that was, 6 or 7, that was, you know, could have been prevented, because if we'd gone for bread, we would have had no issues whatsoever with it. It looks like our reservoir is just about full. Better prioritize this, and we'll get these guys turned off in just a second, and we'll have some extra water for emergency situations. Throw a deep water pump right here. Get that coming. And then, they get those torn out? They did. So leisure for over here. Throw down ourselves a temple. Out by the human ruins. It seems like an appropriate place to put down a place of worship for some beavers that decided to try to follow in the footsteps of the humans. And just logs and planks. That's not too bad. Yeah, I do want them to get that first. We'll set you as a high priority, but not the highest. Then yeah, we'll just keep on keeping on. That said, I am out of time. And so there's really no option here. You know, tomorrow's gonna be it. Tomorrow's the last episode. So I will not be recording that until Monday, so I'm gonna go a whole weekend without looking at this, and well, except in editing. And then on Monday we are gonna see what we can do. You know, just looking it over, it really has come a long way since our little beavers settled down here at the city center. We've overcome an awful lot of stuff and, you know, build ourselves a pretty good looking town. So we will come back and see what we can do to wrap the series up and hopefully go out strong. And with that said, if you like this content, leave a comment down below, like the video, and we will catch you in the next one.